Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words,
what if the American people knew in the depths of their hearts that war is nothing more than a racket? What if we learned that war has not only killed innocent people overseas, but has eroded our civil liberties and our privacy at home? What if we acknowledge that nation building does not work? And if we want to win hearts and minds, we can achieve this without the use of violence. What if I were to tell you that there's another way, a way of peace, a way of freedom, a way of prosperity and friendship among all peoples through diplomacy and open dialogue? We, the people, have the power to stop this machine. We can demand an end to the wars that have dragged on for decades and an end to the military-industrial complex that profits from death and destruction. We can call for foreign policy based on mutual respect. Join us at the Lincoln Memorial at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, February 19th, on the anniversary of the Ukraine War and President's Day weekend to rage against the war machine. After the rally, we'll march to the White House and deliver our demands. What if our voices could make the difference?
What happens if my concerns are completely unfounded? Nothing. But what happens if my concerns are justified and ignored? Nothing.
Hello,
good.
I'm from the Australian Government. Last year, we legislated our 2030 emissions target, a symbolic achievement. But the real question now is, how will we reach that target? And today, we're here to unveil the policy that answers that question. Introducing the Safeguard Mechanism. After a wasted decade under the last government, we know you elected us to take real climate action. Thankfully, the shit party set the bar so low, we could come up with the shit light policy and you'd still applaud us for it. So that's what we've done. Safeguard Mechanism. To be honest, it's not even our policy. That's right. The best part of the Safeguard Mechanism is it's made from recycled materials, which we got from the previous government. It was brought in by this prick to safeguard the coal and gas industry. So we thought, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So we just tweaked it, stuck our logo on it, and voila, reintroducing the Safeguard Mechanism, or as we call it, S&M, because it'll hurt the planet, make it all hot and wet, but you'll love it, because it's a Labour policy, except it's not. Fuck you. Safeguard Mechanism. If passed by Parliament, our repackaged shit-light Safeguard Mechanism will safeguard the coal and gas industry for the rest of this decade. Because let's be clear, the only way humanity currently knows how to reduce actual emissions is simple. Stop fucking digging up new coal and gas. Which is why the science says that's what we must do. Does the Safeguard Mechanism do that? Yeah, nah. That's why we still have over 100 new coal and gas projects awaiting approval. All the Safeguard does is force them to buy carbon credits to offset their emissions. Not all their emissions, just a tiny bit of another tiny part of their emissions. Which might sound like an incentive until you remember fossil fuel companies made this much profit last year alone. So the cost of buying credits to avoid reducing their actual emissions comes to approximately fuck all. Does the Safeguard at least limit how many credits they can buy? Nah, which means our mates can even increase emissions, pay to offset them with credits and still claim to be net zero. Given Tony's, our climate policy relies entirely on carbon credits, it would be a real shame if those credits turned out to be bullshit. Thankfully, we just held an inquiry into their integrity, and who better to appoint to it than people linked to the carbon credit industry? But don't worry, the inquiry looked at all the evidence from the ANU, evidence the inquiry itself commissioned, even evidence from companies that sell carbon credits, all of which suggests they're mostly bullshit, and then concluded they're essentially sound, cool and normal. By now you're probably wondering, if our policy to reach our 2030 target doesn't stop new coal and gas projects, doesn't reduce most emissions from existing ones, lets them buy infinite credits to offset emissions with credits that don't offset emissions, does it really do anything? Oh, sweetie, sure it does. It distracts you with bullshit so our mates can keep making the ching-ching for the rest of this decade. Australian Government. New government, same climate shit fuckery. Authorised by the Department for ensuring our 2030 target is a floor, not a ceiling.
Arkadaşım eşek,
Arkadaşım eş, arkadaşım şek, arkadaşım eşek. Çok özledim arkadaşım eşek. Arkadaşım eş, arkadaşım şek, arkadaşım.
Hi, Shanda.
Hi, Oz.
Are we here? Are we really here? The gods.
We made it. We made it back to YouTube. We're back.
The gods of YouTube. They let us come back. Oh
They
my
did.
God! We have an updated Patreon and supporter screen behind us. You just
That's
check
awesome.
on through that. How do you like it?
You know, for having a week off, you got a hell of a lot of work done. I didn't feel like we had any time off, even though we weren't on YouTube for a week.
I know it's been a crazy week. There's we have some new Patreons coming up here, and there's our friend Eddie Left West.
I love that you added the color. It looks awesome, and the fireworks in the background. I love
Yeah,
it.
we
Love it.
the
Love it.
fire.
Shout out to our Patreon.
Nancy Venture and who is this? Deborah Grossbach. Welcome to the Patreon. So nice of you to join our Patreon. How's everybody out there in the chat? We have we got 170 people on the YouTube, and how many we
Nice.
got on the? We got 1,500 on the Rockfin. Wow, that's crazy.
I know the Rockfin's amazing. Rockfin, I gotta say, you know what? Even though we weren't on YouTube for a week and I didn't get to do Trailer Park Pundit, and I missed not having, doing my own show that last week, but you guys were amazing. You guys came out in force to show us support last week, and we appreciate it because we had better numbers than what we normally have when we're on YouTube.
Yeah, it was really great. The support we get from the community is fantastic, and we're going to keep doing it as long as we can get that support from you guys. Just showing up here is what it's all
Heck
about.
yeah,
so.
we just Saturday Night Hangout, man. That's how this started years ago, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I got to remind everybody, show includes satire. Don't forget YouTube.
We forget sometimes,
We
too,
forget
though.
satire, yeah. And Shanda yelled at me this morning. She goes, God, all this stuff you're putting in is a downer, Oz. This feels supposed to be funny. This week has been stupid with shitty news, especially
Yeah.
today. It's
Yeah.
been crazy. Why are you so big and I'm so small? Look at that.
I don't know. I don't know. That's okay.
I'll be the Hobbit tonight, so.
I'll be the Attack of the 60-Foot Woman.
Yeah, you want to shout out?
Speaking
our
of
chat?
that, we lost Raquel Welch this
Yes, we
week,
did.
right?
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
She was
rest in peace.
quite the sex symbol for all the young men of my time back there.
Okay, Boomer.
Hey, what can I say? Hey, Warren, do you concur with that extra bullet? Was Raquel Welch a sex symbol? I know you're a lot younger than me, Warren, but I thought I'd shout you out anyway. We got a Snow Leopard in the chat. Gamer, Natalie Williams. I've seen you everywhere today, Natalie. Come Schwari, Kate, Peace Dove.
Hey.
What's
Hi,
up, Peace? What's up? What's up? What's up? Did somebody say gallstones? She's going to, guess what, Gamer? Gamer, I got diagnosed with something in my gallbladder, too. It's probably a toaster that I swallowed, but yeah.
Toaster.
Popeye, what's
I
going
don't
on?
have to worry about that. I don't have a gallbladder.
God, this is what I think I've been sick with for the last 5 months, is something wrong with my gallbladder, so we'll see.
Oh, man, it takes you hard. It takes you down hard. I know.
Yeah.
Took me out for about a year.
Yes, Warren says, yeah, we lost Stella Stevens. Yes, we did lose Stella Stevens. Yes.
Jax!
Yep.
Jax is here.
Stella Stevens, I saw her in one James Bond movie, I think, and wasn't she like Robert Wagner's girlfriend for the most longest time?
Is Robert Wagner 90? I thought I read somewhere this
93.
week he's 90 something.
93.
Well, burn in hell, motherfucker. We know what you did to
He's
Natalie.
still, that's what I saw, but they did a nice puff piece for him the other day because he was 93.
Puff piece, he's gonna puff his way right into hell. He knows damn well what happened on that boat. So does
I couldn't
Christopher
live with
Walken.
myself. So, whatever. Something's weird, and, the whole thing was Christopher Walken, too. You got to call them both
Right?
out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I just went to sleep. I didn't hear anything. Yeah. Okay.
Jax,
Jax
good to
is in the
see
house.
you. Hey, fam, catching you live.
Nice.
I'm
just getting started.
I'm tiny tonight. I'm gonna have to fix this. I got a complex.
Tiny dancer. You can be tiny dancer. Well, fix yourself, and I'll shut out the rock.
Yeah, shout out to Rock Fan. I'll shut up. Here
Amber King's in the house. Hey, Amber. I'm so tired. I haven't even started packing, but I will see you tomorrow and at the Seattle rally. Popeye Sailor. Good. Hello. Copeland Morris. Let's see. Oop, it moved on me. Crone of Heresy. Is that the new name? I know there's more. Kate's hanging out in here. And Snorky Y2K. Hey, Snork, how do you like your new card? I love it. Riley Martin's in the house. Hi, Riley. Keep scrolling. You guys are having a great conversation.
Yeah.
Jim made it through the door first. Welcome.
Jim.
And everybody else that's watching over on the Iraq Fan.
And
Of course, the
for
Rumble,
those-
I don't know. Is the Rumble live?
You know what? The Rumble, I don't have it up. I'm going to have to get it up. Captain.
Get it up, man.
Suzanne Murphy is in the house. Hey, Suzanne. Good
Suzanne.
to see you. We talked earlier. Suzanne's really kind of like unhappy with the current administration, siding with the Rail Southern Rail.
That's going to be half our show tonight. So we're
yeah,
definitely going to get into that.
I'm reading 5 things at once, but I wasn't very happy either. We all concurred. We kind of
I
all
know. Oh
met
my
on the
God,
phone
there's
together
just so
and
much
blew
to
up.
cover.
So Amber was
Yeah.
in there, and we're still cleaning the guts off the wall.
There's just so much. It's just like every day, just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well, let's get this train going. Ooh, God,
Let's
that's
get
a
this train wreck
horrible
going.
metaphor.
I know, that was horrible.
Horrible metaphor. It'll probably fall off. What do you got here?
Well, Wall Street Journal and Mother Jones want you to stop eating. So to save money, maybe you should skip your breakfast. And why you should stop eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dogma, guys. It's dogma. You only eat because you've been told that you're supposed to eat.
They
So
are socially
stop eating.
conditioning us. They are socially. They're getting us
Yes.
ready. Wait till you see the new McDonald's menu I brought towards the end of the show.
Oh, I know.
It's
I know.
really
so
horror
scary.
show.
So scary.
Then you've got a new rendition of Alien versus Predator.
Well, we have to kind of clean up last week with the whole aliens and balloons and, we're now finding out, UFOs. We're now finding out some pretty stupid shit. Like maybe they shot down a couple of stupid recreational freaking balloons and maybe a weather balloon.
Yeah, I heard-
mean, they're never going to claim it, right?
Yeah, there was some recreational group that sends up balloons, and I heard the
Yeah.
quote was $12 a piece, so they used a $10,000 Sidewinder to shoot it down.
Right.
It's like, what? Really?
But yeah, I heard they suspended the search for the pieces because you're probably never going to find a piece.
Yeah,
but,
it's just those weather balloons don't hold up under rocket fire. So it's just
So this is United Spot. Of course, because, I saw a poll this week and people were asked, do you want Biden to address the UFOs that the U.S. military shot down? And 85% of like 350K votes said yes. And I'm like, why? Do you think Biden's going to get up there and tell you something they're not already fucking telling you? I
Yeah.
mean, they're already controlling the narrative. I just thought it was so stupid. And then here he comes marching out the next day. You always got to address it.
All right, let's see what he's
we're
got
so
to
screwed.
say. I like his hat, though. He looks like that dude from the Flintstones. What was that guy's name on the Flintstones?
Marty Martian or something?
Yeah,
No,
it
what
was-
was
One
that?
of
These
Yeah.
high-altitude surveillance balloons entered our airspace over the continental United States earlier in the month. I gave the order to shoot it down.
Sure, Dan.
But make no mistake, if any object presents a threat to the safety and security of the American people, I will take it down as soon as it would be safe to do so.
Are you sure?
It was the size of multiple school buses,
Who Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right?
Sir, Mr. President, there has been
Give me a break,
criticism.
man.
Mr. President, there has been criticism that this was an overreaction that was done because of political pressure.
You come my office and ask the question when you have more polite people.
What the fuck was he talking about?
But I make no apologize
What the hell you say?
for further analytics.
This guy, this is not my kind of guy.
United Spot.
What do you think? I think that's Zazu. That was his name. Zazu.
Zazu, that
yeah,
was the
yeah,
name,
that's
you're
Zazu.
right.
I saw it again. I
Zazu.
see the I think it was Zazu or what was it? Harvey Korman voiced him back in 1963, and that's what it looks like. So he was a time traveling alien. JP, you brought JP. What's going on with JP?
I did bring a JP. Well, he's got to talk about the reality of the balloons.
Oh, okay.
Look over there! What is it? Aliens? UFOs? Ukraine? Satanic celebrities? Yes! Awesome. I like looking at those things over there because it helps me not see what's over here. Do you know what's over here? Still doing my best to not find out. But I've barely got enough distractions to keep me from looking at it, though. Same. But maybe we could just look over here and find out real quick. What do you know about aliens and UFOs? I've never been thinking about them more now that they fit into the look over there category. UFO sightings are everywhere. Maybe we should talk about that now, as it seems to be what we're instructed to do. I concur. Do you know what's weird about aliens? The lack of genitals? No. I mean, well, yeah, certainly that. But also, back when the government denied alien existence, if you did believe in aliens, you were considered a mindless nut job. Complete mindless nut jobs. And now that the government is constantly teasing us with alien existence, you're considered a mindless nut job if you don't believe in them. Complete mindless nut jobs. And those same people used to say that the government denying alien existence was evidence that they do exist. Like defiant children. And now those same people saying that the government suggesting aliens are out there is evidence that aliens don't exist. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Really? Are you? No, not at all. I'm one of the people who never believed that aliens existed because the government said they don't. Do you believe in them now? Of course! The government is telling us that they do exist. So you're like a sheep. Thank you. And you're like an immature, defiant child. Compliment received and appreciated as it was intended. I find it beautiful that even though we have completely opposite views of the existence of aliens, what we harmoniously have in common is we let the government completely control our thinking about them. You through your childish defiance to whatever the government says, and me through my sheep-like obedience to whatever the government says. Yeah, we do have that in common.
I stand corrected. It was Snow Leopards, the Great Gazoo. That's what.
The Great Gazoo.
That's
okay,
right.
you're right.
That's what
the Great
it was.
Gazoo. Yeah, he had the little helmet on.
Yeah.
As far as the whole alien story goes, I find it interesting that JP kind of addressed it this way because my opinion has definitely changed over the years. I mean, if you think at what we knew the universe to be, the cosmos, up until we started sending all these probes out in the 80s and 90s and started to get some information back. Sure, I thought aliens could be living on the backside of Venus or something. They could come from the next, galaxy over. But now, when my understanding of the way it works, they're more. I believe that if there is something, it's more interdimensional beings. They're not just hanging out behind our moon. That type of thing. They don't have a moon base, I don't think. But I stopped believing in anything alien-wise when the government started putting it out there, because instantly I knew, okay, they're co-opting this.
I'm convinced my UPS driver's an alien because there's no way somebody could do 250 stops in one day. There's just no way. That's all.
That's good.
He's from planet I go faster than anybody else, or a time traveler. It's whatever
Right.
that is.
I mean, it just depends on what you believe. Either we've been in touch with them since Eisenhower, or
Yeah, I love the Shanda executive here, the AI Shanda executive.
that AI Shanda. Yeah.
That's AI Shanda, and that's.
Oh, I know it's only a matter of time before you get her talking.
That's AI Corinne Jean-Pierre, right there. What has she got to say today?
So this is part of a series you'll see throughout the whole deck tonight, and I've brought some of the best, and let's start with her.
Okay, let's give her a shot.
The president always says this, which is watch him. And if you watch him, you'll see that he has a grueling schedule that he keeps up with, that sometimes some of us are not able to keep up with.
Can you stop it and then try to come into it again?
Yeah, I'll bring it in.
The president always says this, which is watch him. And if you watch him, you'll see that he has a grueling schedule that he State of the Union, I believe, that sometimes some of us are not able to keep up with. He was State of the Union. I believe he spent 90 minutes speaking to the congressional members in front of him, to the American people. After that, he spent an hour shaking hands and saying hello and greeting the congressional members and their guests.
As the United States of America. God bless you
all. And this is a president that works day in and day out, in a grueling fashion, with a grueling schedule.
There's looting and thousands are snowed in, but while that's all happening, President Biden is on his way to a tropical island vacation. He left last night for a trip to St. Croix as the country continues to suffer through this major winter blast.
And delivers. And let's not forget, it is interesting that we get this question about this president who has had one of the most historical presidency in his first 2 years than any other president, almost any other president.
It's the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that.
The average price for a gallon of gas has now hit $5, according to AAA, the most expensive in history.
The most expensive in history.
Historical. When you look at this record of this president and what he has been able to do and deliver for the American people.
Here's Johnny.
It's Jack.
Has had one of the most historical presidency in his first 2 years than any other president.
Than any other president. Did he take that out of a page from Trump?
I don't know.
And didn't Trump used to tell us that same shit too?
Every day, I think we're living in the Twilight Zone with a splash of the Night Gallery. So it's crazy. It is crazy. I'm going to run the video on camera too tonight as much as possible, so there might be a hiccup here and there.
I'm scrambling it, man.
Yeah. Helping sick workers, helping corporations avoid paying sick workers, which is what Biden is doing right now with the railroads. These going on, and we've got this to show you what happened this week. You've all seen this, haven't you? What is this? This is
I think you
best photo ever. This is from the disaster that happened this week, and Pete Buttigieg, Biden's getting his virtual selfie there, and there's AOC in crying and worrying about it. You brought a memeology of this.
There's so many memes. I mean, I had to grab as many memes as I could with this, but I did bring a memeology because as the week progressed, as the story unfolded, I reported it when it initially happened on Trailer Park Pundit. And it was just kind of a blurb, nobody was really talking about it, definitely not mainstream media. And then as it progressed, I mean, every day it's been something new, right? Like, oh, well, we're not helping with disaster relief. Oh, well, okay. So let's just start out. This was probably the beginning of the week.
Okay.
Look, rail safety is something that has evolved a lot over the years, but there's clearly more that needs to be done because while this horrible situation has gotten a particularly high amount of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing.
I mean, you do get how that's worse, right?
there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, man.
Okay, so he says there's been historic, we've come so far with our maintenance on these trains and but there's still accidents every now and then. So didn't you bring a video of how it's looked just recently in the past?
Yeah, well, here's this video is from last year, but this kind of made me cringe a little bit. It was somebody put it up today and it reminded me of this, and I wanted to pull it and bring it in.
Hey,
Wait
guys,
for it.
guess what? I don't think we're doing any more trees today.
Wait for it. Oh, how nice.
Let's get out of here.
Oh my God.
What is that? This corn on here. Let's get out of here.
Now, the one in Ohio was a fiery blast that went down.
Well, they ignited it because they thought, oh, instead of just letting it sit here and dump into the waterways, let's just blow it up and put it into the air. So that's where the whole big plume thing came from, because all of them, including the governor and whoever's in control of the EPA there, they just shook their heads and said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's just blow the shit up. And then from there, they realized, oh, well, that just made the problem bigger. I mean, if you're watching Addy Ads reporting on the ground there, he's doing an amazing job. So there's a lot of people on the ground there bringing lots of good stuff in. But I mean, it's heartbreaking how this is played out. They tell them they're safe only within a mile. Oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe it's the whole zip code. Well, maybe it's a couple of counties out. I mean, this is a fucking disaster. And Biden's response on it has been horrendous. And we're going to get to that. I think we're still dealing with Buttigieg on the slides. Yeah. I mean, Pete, he didn't even address it the day after it happened in a big speech he was given in the morning. I mean, it was just like it hadn't even happened. And since then, he has had a shit response to it. I mean, just like, oh, well, it happens. And yeah, we need to upgrade some stuff.
I was waiting for this. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg now blames Trump administration for happening. I was waiting for him to blame Trump about that. But what really caught our ire today or yesterday, this was reported on from The Lever. I think this is one of Sirota's good things, good boy moments. Biden DOJ backing Norfolk Southern's bid to block lawsuits. So what the hell? Union busting and supporting corporations to fuck over people with the Supreme Court? What the hell's going on? The guy should be impeached right now for this. There's so much criminality.
There's so much backdooring going on. And you saw what I tweeted back to Addy Ads yesterday. It was like, these videos that you're taking of the fish dies and, animals die and whatnot. It's going to be so important to these residents there, the everyday people that make, $26,000 a year at some local factory or plant. And they're going to be important because that's the only proof they're going to have that they were poisoned and that this had been done to them, because we know what it's going to look like in the future. They're going to have lawsuits. And then will they get a corrupt judge that's bought off, just like Chevron bought up all the judges on their suits? I mean, all the way around, every fail-safe that's supposed to be protecting the people of our country has failed. It is corrupted. It is broken. It is no good. And now we're seeing how it's affecting the people of this country. And not just here in Ohio. We've seen, 7 disasters in 10 days? 7,
Yeah, there's a factory. There's a green energy factory in Florida. Green tech, green energy. God knows what that's made of, and that's burning up, throwing toxic shit in the air. I mean, I was talking earlier with Suzanne and Amber about this.
The EPA's been bought out for 30 years, Oz, 40 years.
Yeah,
we know that. Since
they haven't
the 70s, they've been terrible.
Yeah, I need to figure out a new name for that acronym. I just, it's.
Well, remember when Trump got in office and he put who was the head of the EPA? It was something
Brownie.
so ironically stupid.
Brownie.
It was like, no way. Yeah.
Brownie was a horse trainer dude or horse
no.
You
guys tell me. Trump appointed basically the worst offender of the EPA to the head of the EPA. Basically.
Well, I remember who you're talking about. It was the cowboy from like Montana or something like that.
Right.
There's some nut job up there. But this, again, seriously, guys, this, with what's been going on with this Biden thing, with shoveling money over to Ukraine through the military-industrial complex to wash it, is horrendous. The guy should be investigated to the end of time. It's.
They just passed the infrastructure bill. The Democrats did that for you.
Yeah, sure they did.
You know what's wrong with that infrastructure
it's
bill?
1/10 of what it should be or needs
It's
to be.
It's 1/10 of what it should be, and it's a fucking handout to green energy or anybody who's on board with the whole climate change, which, railroads, bridges, that type of thing doesn't get included in that type of grant.
Well, yeah, it's just throwing money at something. Say, okay, we took care of that. We spent 1/10 of what it would take to fix it if there wasn't any corruption or payoffs in it. Linda wrote us up a couple of yum-yums today. Yum-yum, the finest news source in the country.
I think I want to crack at this. I want to crack at this.
You take the crack at this.
Okay. Polly, want a cracker? Chirp, chirp. Too many Caucasians on construction crews. Tweet, tweet. Forced train to derail, says Transportation Secretary. Keep Buttigieg, but tweeters are blaming me. My feely feels are too hurt for me to care about people in Ohio trying to breathe through toxic cloud. Chirp, chirp. When asked to explain how he came to his conclusion regarding diversity in construction, how vile chloride is safe to breathe, Buttigieg defecated in his reporter's general direction, squawked, and obscenities, then flew away.
And then flew away. That's what he did. And that's perfectly fine for...
Linda, that was funny. Very funny, Linda.
That was funny, Linda. Thank you so much, Linda. You keep those up. You have a knack for the yum-yums. So
yeah, she does.
What do you got this terrifying?
Okay, so this is a 2-part series, but I had to bring it. Julie, I think, sent me this. Julie, did you send me this? Anyways, everybody's talking about this Netflix movie about the train derailment in 1984 called White Noise. Well, I watched it the day after the train derailment because I had remembered I'd seen this movie and wanted to watch it. I just never did. So I watched it. And it really, I'm not telling you to watch the movie because I find the movie just stupid. I mean, it was one of those where they tried to be artsy with the way that they filmed it, and it just distracts from it. And it's kind of boring and slow, and I don't know. But yeah, it has a very, very similar storyline where there's a train that derails literally a county over. I mean, people that live in the city were extras in this movie. I mean, that's how close it was, and just the way it's eerie, the way the film, the footage from the movie really
mimics
like
the stuff out of Ohio.
Yeah, mimics the shit. So why is this? This is soft disclosure. So I want to talk about this predictive programming that we all take on a daily basis because it is. We see it constantly.
It happens so much. I'm not going to shirk it off as conspiracy anymore. It's
that's the point. We accept it. We accept it. So let's get into these 2 parts. I think this is going to take us 5 minutes all the way together, but we'll do the first half.
Part one. Part one, everybody.
Part 1.
In the movie Knowing, the news reported a major oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico.
Tonight in the Gulf of Mexico, an explosion on the soon-to-be decommissioned oil rig triggered a fire which burned for 3 hours before it was extinguished. Officials don't yet know the exact cause of the explosion, but believe a malfunction in the cooling system may have been at fault.
Our last run into the rig
Due to the prompt response of the rescue unit, the structure was evacuated with no loss of life.
A year later, the Deepwater Horizon exploded. 6 months before 9/11, a lone gunman episode showed us the World Trade Center being targeted by a hijacked passenger plane.
Corner of Liberty and Washington, Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. We're going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
And last year's film, White Noise, was about a train wreck that poisons a small town in Ohio. This is the very same story now playing out in real life. Within a year of White Noise's release, the actual event occurs in real life, in Ohio, in Texas, and in Michigan. This is known as predictive programming, and its purpose is to psychologically trick the minds of the masses into accepting major traumatic events that would otherwise be resisted. In the book Secret Societies and Psychological Warfare, Michael Hoffman describes a mind control technique known as the revelation of the method. And he writes that when the revelation of the method is performed in a veiled manner, accompanied by certain occult signs and symbolic words, and elicits no meaningful response of opposition or resistance from the target, it is one of the most efficacious techniques of psychological warfare. Sarah Elkhaldy of the Alchemist YouTube channel does an excellent job of explaining all this. According to Elkhaldy, there is a law of nature in this universe that compels the dark occult to first gain our consent before trespassing against us, because they believe this protects them from the natural laws of cause and effect. They offered, and we accepted, so it's all fair. A lack of response to an action is often taken as an approval of that action. And there is an old Latin proverb that says, "He who is silent when he ought to have spoken and was able to is taken to agree."
No kidding. Honestly, Shanda, I said at the top of the show, we're living in the twilight zone with a little light gallery mixed in. If that is to follow, then why would this be any more outlandish than what we see on a daily basis? That's crazy. My parents would never have stood for the shit that's going on.
And that's just it. We're not in the streets. We're not screaming, what do you mean you're not going to take care of Ohio? It gets easier and easier every time we see a community's been poisoned, right? Flint. We've all known about Flint for how long? You know, all of these border towns, cities that don't have water. I've been reporting on them for years. It just gets easier and easier because if it's not within your immediate, radius, then not my problem, right? Those are people on the other side of the country. I shouldn't worry about it. And exactly why I'm going to drag my ass to Seattle tomorrow on a 3-hour one-way trip. I mean, it's going to be a whole day experience to go stand up and say, hey, I oppose fucking war. Quit giving Ukraine money, period. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you like. I'm just here to stand up and say enough, and we need to do this on so many other things, right?
I hope I hear many people say I'm standing with East Palestine too. Or Palestine, whatever.
Palestine, right?
Yeah, I hope I hear that tomorrow because we need to start being less myopic and more wide-ranging with what we're covering because they're bombarding us. They're socially conditioning us in the most heinous criminal way. I can't tell you. We've been getting this for decades, ever since birth. So, that's what I can say. I've got to call these two.
Yeah, we got a couple of super chats. Why don't you go back and call them all out?
Yeah, Steve Wolfbrandt, Suzanne Murphy is my favorite friend, and then Suzanne Murphy dropped us a super sticker. Thank you, Suzanne. And I love that super sticker.
She's one of our favorite friends,
and
too.
Steve Wolfbrandt.
Activists are the best.
Truth Bomb activists are the best people. Yes, that's where I met Suzanne. I was introduced to Truth Bomb activists about 5 years ago. And I hit it off with Suzanne, and now we're buds. And I really do appreciate all the work and effort Suzanne helps us with. Pat, no worries on the song tonight. We got a loaded deck, so that works out well.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good, but we
miss it. We always love it.
We'll expect something from you next week, sir, if possible. And Snorky, by the way, I got your video today, and I didn't think frogs in toilets over in the UK would go with trains exploding in the US, but
I don't even know what that means.
Well, there's frogs in toilets in certain areas. So.
I guess that's better than rats, right? They have rats in the inner city.
Maybe it's better than trains blowing up toxic material that's not going to go away for decades. So this is part 2, right?
Part 2, yeah.
Violence is considered by many to be a form of consent. And so it is through a veiled performance of the revelation of the method technique that these dark occultists believe they are gaining our consent. What we know as predictive programming. With predictive programming, the minds of the masses are impregnated with visuals of a major event before it happens. This is done through all forms of media and can be very subtle so that nobody notices. But the subconscious mind notices everything and can easily be programmed through repetition. And so these controllers repeat whatever it is that they want us to accept as reality. Because these images are delivered to us through entertainment, they elicit no meaningful response of opposition or resistance, and so we accept them subconsciously. And when the event happens in real life, it is already familiar and acceptable to us, as if that's just the way it is. It's a mind trick, and it works by keeping everyone locked in a spectator state. This causes what is known as paradigm blindness, which is when a person is incapable of seeing any reality other than what they've already been exposed to by the media. This paradigm blindness will cause a person to get emotionally triggered whenever confronted with an alternative point of view that they have not been programmed to accept. It's a very powerful mind trick, and the solution is quite simple. We need to stop living as spectators of someone else's reality. We need to start creating our own reality, and we need to remember how to say no, because they offer it to us and we accept it.
Meaning, I mean, for some reason, when it comes to this predictive programming, they always have to get consent almost. I mean, it's by putting it out there and making us accept it, then we're telling them it's okay. So we have to start saying no. Like, no, this is not okay. Just because it's not in my town, it's not in my city, I'm just gonna, we have to start standing up for so much more.
Not going to embargo this stuff. What I want to see is people understand that when art imitates reality too much, you better start questioning it. Because, again, social conditioning. And if all I've had for the last 15 years are zombie goddamn movies and shows. I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah.
Post-apocalyptic
that used to be
crap.
my genre. Post-apocalyptic was my genre for the last 20 years. And I'm over it now. Like,
it's not thrilling in this day and age. It's scary with the Pandora being let out of the box by gain of function and everything else. These
CERN, God knows
CERN, World War
they busted into.
World War III, which I insist, they wanted to start this war with Ukraine back in 2017, but the reality
TV started in 2014. Actually,
yeah, they started in 2014, but they were going to put Hillary in there, and then in 2017 they were going to kick it off. So we got relief there for a moment, but don't.
For a moment, she might be back though.
Oh yeah, don't buy this stuff, you guys. Question everything. Critical thinking skills are a must. And if people say you're crazy or tinfoil hats, say, well, what about this, this, and this?
You're lazy.
Yeah.
You're just taking the mainstream narrative and headline news. And I'm tired of that argument. If you're a conspiracy theorist or you're crazy, no, you are intentionally not looking at facts and just believing what you're being spoon-fed.
Yeah, don't do it. You guys are smart. You're sharp. You can do this. Gulf of Tonkin, light us into war. Iraq, light us into war.
Pearl Harbor.
Well, I don't even want to go there. But here, by the way, I'm a member of Veterans for Peace. I've been a member with Veterans of Peace for almost 20 years now. Honorary member, I did not serve, but I did serve Veterans of Peace. Now, I am supporting the events tomorrow in all locations, and I hope my sisters and brothers at Veterans of Peace step up and say to hell with it. It's an anti-war protest.
I hope I see them out there.
I want to see them as well as Code Pink, and I can't speak to Code Pink because I haven't been a member of Code Pink. However, I have supported.
Won't let them.
I have supported their efforts over the years, also financially when I could. So please. Let's stop. Knock off the bullshit.
Hold on. I want to shout out over on the the Rockfin. Copeland Morris, Shandon Oz. You bring it. God bless you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're bringing a hell of a great outro tonight for everybody.
Oz has got a great outro.
Yeah, I think you're going to love it. And Suzanne, stick around because it talks about a city in your state. What do we have here?
Well, they're. Just play it. It's a memeology.
It's a memeology. Oh, I love these. They're not too long. They're not too short. They're just right. And that one's not going to work. I promise.
Satisfied with the Biden administration response? Is there anything you'd like to see?
Maybe it's a cable.
Maybe it is a cable, the way it's coming through. I love that meme there on the bottom that says it's Max Blumenthal, and he's saying, "Shut the fuck up, you little bootlegging ass punk."
I don't know if he said that. He didn't say that, did he?
I don't know if he said that, but that's a great meme.
That's the look he's giving him, for sure. Here we go. Let's try this.
Are you satisfied with the Biden administration response? And is there anything you'd like to see more out of the administration as far as help like this?
Look, our Ohio EPA works with the U.S. EPA. These are the principal people involved. The federal government is conducting an investigation to determine why this wreck occurred, this crash occurred. We await that. And certainly we'll be interested in seeing what is going on. Look, the president called me and said, anything you need. I have not called him back after that conversation. I will not hesitate to do that if we're seeing a problem or anything, but I'm not seeing it.
So that was a fucking lie.
Didn't he used to be in a cartoon back when we were young where he was in there with a dog and his name was Poindexter?
Well, I thought he was the Keebler Elf, but I like that he's the kid from the Christmas movie Ralphie.
Oh yeah, with a Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah, you'll shoot your eye out.
Isn't that
so?
terrible?
Yeah, I love how he's like, oh, the president told me anything I need. Like the next day, nope, sorry, you ain't getting shit.
You ain't getting shit. So, but what you are getting is you're getting the administration helping the rail companies to thwart any future lawsuits and current ones. So Joe Biden is not a man of labor. He is a man of corporations. He always has been. And you guys, this should prove it to you. I hope. What do you think, Shanda? Do you think it's going to prove it to him?
Oh, yeah, right.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm looking around because I've got to switch computers.
I know. We got tech issues tonight. So let them drink vinyl chloride. I love that. That's probably one of the best memes out of all of them.
Oh, my God.
Meet the CEO of North Fork Southern, Alan Shaw. His net worth is at least $11 million. He lives in an 8,000 square foot mansion, and he poisoned a small town for profit. Let's make him famous. So
yeah,
there he is. I always bring you these ass hats. So.
Yeah, let's make him famous, Suzanne. Everybody, let's make that dude famous. And again, I just satire. We do pick on people's looks once in a while when they remind us of something back in the boomer days. We have this. You brought this.
Yeah. What happens when your Secretary of Transportation is a failed small town mayor who was given the position for endorsing the senile father of American mass incarcerator in a rigged primary? Oh,
yeah, touche.
The touche was the rigged primary at the end, right? And then Donald Trump this morning tweets out Biden and FEMA say they would not be sending federal aid to East Palestine. As soon as I announce that I'm going, he announces the team will go. Hopefully he will also be there. This is good news because we got them on the move. The people of East Palestine need help. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Smartest tweet Donald Trump has made in a long time. On a long time. He's capitalizing on it, but you know what? Biden should have already been there.
Look at the numbers right below you. That's Idaho residents, and he has Idaho by like 71%.
Ohio residents?
Or Ohio, yeah.
71.7.
That's who voted for Trump, 71%.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to be happy to see Trump come down there.
Yep, they are. They are. You've got another meme vomit
This is a meme bomb. These are all the memes. This is what happens when your transportation secretary only qualification is he helped sabotage the Bernie Sanders campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Booty Gig 2028 campaign logo just dropped. Pete. Yeah.
Oh, God. That hurts.
I've got either things going on. Oh, I can't see it.
This happens all the time. It's Trump's fault.
It's Trump's fault. Yeah, of
And
course.
then the bottom one says the United States was confirmed responsible for the Nord Stream pipeline attack. And that one lady down there's UFOs. And then today I solved racism and construction sites.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh my God, this is just nothing surprises us in the world of social media. Now this is another one you brought. What is this?
Hey friends, remember when I told you things were going to get worse? They're getting worse now.
Oh God, are they getting
See, I
worse?
did that Biden thing.
Yeah. No, I honestly, everything has been cray-cray this week. I have never. Not never. It's just been an incredible amount of bad news all the way around, ramping up this imperialist action over in Ukraine that's getting people killed, flushing more money down the toilet, and more of our Republican and Democrat representatives saying that they're going to support more funding and more weapons to Ukraine.
We're going to war.
And then that idiot over in the Ukraine said, that they're going to be sending high distance missiles over there. Smoke them if you got them, guys.
Well, because they have so many troops that are trained and dealing with those type of missiles anyway. So it's not like it would be our boots on the ground over there.
I know.
Wink.
Meanwhile, the German people are freezing to death along with so many other. My brothers in
They
Scotland.
should hate us. They should hate us. What the hell is wrong with you in Europe? If you can hear me and you're across the pond, you should fucking hate America. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
you should be in the streets.
You should be protesting. You should be in the streets screaming.
Get your
screaming
sisters
about
and brothers
how your
in
country's
France
bend
out
the
there.
knee to us.
This
Yes.
is time for an international
We need you.
action, international solidarity, an international strike. This is what I was talking about 2 years ago, right? We need to take this momentum from these things. We didn't help the truckers like we should up in Canada under that twerp. And now France is doing that. And most people don't get any non-propaganda media like MSNBS or CNN in the West. All we get is this pablum. Everything's fine, and these guys are the bad guys, and we're the good guys. Bullshit.
You're the good guys. You're the good guys. We have to bring democracy to the world.
Democracy. And Kamala Harris just embarrassed herself today.
I've got that. It's on the deck.
Okay.
It's further down.
All right. I'm going to try this
I brought
one.
it.
Podcaster speaks at anti-war rally, kicks off World War III. Some posters said he was too far to the right politically, so they could not support this particular anti-war effort. We wanted to attend, but some of the speakers just don't align with us on every little thing, said shitlib activist and organizer with virtue signals. Lib went on to say, if World War III starts, it's because we didn't speak out. So be it. We are nothing without our purity tests. Ding, 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 ding. Rocked it out of the park, Linda. Way to go. That sums it up right there. And I've got Kim Iverson coming up here in a couple of minutes to talk about this. This is just a splash background of what's going on. And Shanda, you made the meme down there again. You want to read that for everybody? I know you read it last week.
But I don't like those speakers pass. So then you can't really call yourself anti-war. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Kim Iverson kind of like narrowed it down a little bit, or made it easier here in this one. And she brought a friend of ours that we agree with a lot, but not always, but good points made here. And that didn't work. That always happens when I get machines messed up. See if that works.
Work it.
Hello and welcome to the Kim Iverson Show. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
I can hear it.
This weekend, happening in Washington, D.C. at the Lincoln Memorial, is an anti-war rally. It's this Sunday, just after noon. Many of us are going to be gathering to really speak out against the endless war machine that the United States has been propagating. The demands for the rally are really simple. Not one more penny for war in Ukraine, negotiate peace, stop the war inflation, disband NATO, global nuclear de-escalation, slash the Pentagon budget, abolish the CIA and military-industrial deep state, abolish war and empire, restore civil liberties, and free Julian Assange. Yet, Many of the anti-war voices, some of the big names in the anti-war movement, are refusing to participate in this anti-war rally because they don't like some of the speakers who've been invited, or maybe they don't like some of the people who are part of the organizing. It's one of the big problems we're seeing in trying to create these movements is some people are just unwilling to get together because of virtue signaling, morals or ethics or something else that they hold dear, even if they agree with every single demand of this anti-war rally. Now, recently, Chris Hedges, who's also going to be speaking at the event this Sunday, wrote a piece called "There Are No Permanent Allies, Only Permanent Power. If we do not build left-right coalitions on issues such as militarism, healthcare, living wage, and union organizing, we will be impotent in the face of corporate power and the war machine." Chris Hedges, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
This is a really a powerful piece, and I really want to get your opinion on this. You know, this squabbling that is going on between people who share the same value. You know, how do you get these people to drop their differences and come together for something that we all can be united against?
Well, this gets into the whole culture of virtue signaling, you know, the woke, so-called woke culture. And that is not about effective organizing. It's about moral absolutism, moral purity. It's actually very counterproductive in terms of building movements. But these people are not very effective at building movements. I mean, I think we have to acknowledge that the anti-war movement in this country is dead. Certainly extremely marginalized. Groups that I respect, Veterans for Peace, for instance, I'm on the board, did not endorse this event because they don't like some of the speakers. Ron Paul will be there. Code Pink, one of the co-founders, Medea Benjamin, was supposed to speak, and the staff asked her to withdraw, which unfortunately she did. But this is essentially emasculating any ability to build the kinds of coalitions to put pressure against this out-of-control militarism, which is not only, we can go all the way back to Vietnam, but let's take the last 20 years in the Middle East.
You know, again, Veterans for Peace, sisters and brothers out there, please support all anti-war protests, please. You don't pick and choose this stuff. If you don't like somebody up there, don't talk to them. Don't talk to them because they're there.
Listen to them.
Yeah, they're there. They're there to support anti-war too, and they should get a modicum of respect for that. I don't care who it is. How do you feel about that? You're going to the event tomorrow in Seattle. What are your feelings?
Believe me, I wish I could have gone to the DC one. I'm so bummed for as many times I've been to DC, and this one has got so many great people there. I'm bummed I won't be there, but I will be in Seattle. I'm glad there's at least one on the West Coast. You know, we got one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. I don't know how well it's been advertised because I really am not, I don't know who's really, I mean, I know a few of the people that are organizing for the Seattle one, but I just don't know because of all the shit that's been going on with these different, supporters. So we'll see. I'm going to be out there tomorrow. Amber will be out there. I think we're going to hit an anti-Fauci protest because the Fauci is in town. Ooh. So we're going to double whammy tomorrow morning and, hit Fauci first and then head up and do the anti-war. So we'll be bringing you footage. Oz will be in the studio waiting for live streams coming in from us. And we'll do our thing. What Roar Media does.
Yeah, we will definitely get our thing. So if you can attend, support any way you guys could do it, that would be so appreciated. I gotta tell you, it's here's the one for Seattle tomorrow, and I brought this meme at Seattle the last Center. Minute. Yep. Rage Against the Machine. I don't think we'll be seeing Rachel Maddow at any anti-war rallies, although I wish she would. But she's kind of keeping it low key because there's a wanted poster, wanted for crimes of propaganda and lies. Rachel Maddow, mainstream Mockingbird, do not approach if found. I think that's pretty much right on. And I gotta shout out our brother Pasta. He's going to be in DC. We no longer have the luxury of playing team sports when it comes to our foreign policy, for we have a war machine that seems content with putting us all at the brink of a nuclear disaster. It's time we, the people, set aside our isms and join together. Hear, hear. I think everybody should be saying that. That's let's just put aside the crap.
I like this other quote too. I don't want to leave it behind because it's so good. This empire truly believes it has a right to rule the world and that no nation has a right to refuse it. The reemergence of a true multipolar world is crashing headlong into an imperial doctrine that demands security and polar domination at all costs and is getting ugly very, very fast. And yes, very, very fast. That's the point of these rallies and coming together. And what Chris says is, the infantile bullshit is stopping us from coming together with the type of mass movement that we need to put pressure on this goddamn war machine that's out of control. I mean, both sides of the uniparty are just streaming headlong into this war. They have all these new toys. They've been investing nothing into, they've been doing it all into the military for the last 10 years, 15 years. Well, since the Patriot Act, basically, we've been building up our military forces, right?
They're
Since
still,
Iraq,
they're still in violation of the Constitution.
they're not going to stop just because they won't even talk about peace talks right now. Like, oh, hell no.
Russia wanted to talk about them last spring. And
Putin dies, then we're okay. That's pretty much the mentality.
Then we're okay. I just, again, this has got to stop. Just put your mind around this 1 second, Shanda. With all the money and energy and resources and everything they put into this imperial action against Ukraine and Russia, they could have fixed, 90% of the problems in this country financially?
We could have high-speed rail. We could have universal health care for everybody. We could have educated our whole entire citizenship.
Just up to now, we could have solved homelessness. And if history repeats itself, like spending, 15 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, how many trillions is that going to end up costing us when that finally drops? We're set up here to be in here for years, and that bill is going to go up and up and up. But unfortunately, I think that they're going to push a little too hard, and somebody's going to make a mistake, and it's not going to be a good one. That's a hard break for this topic. Do you want to say anything else closing other than please support anti-war, Rage Against the War Machine?
If you can get out tomorrow and support these, get out on the ground, that's what's most important. But if you can't do that, then share the streams out, get the information out, because the small handful of us that do get out there, we need your guys' help because we get algorithmically shadow banned, we get suppressed, we get,
everything.
We need your help to get the word out. So.
We get screwed. So.
We get screwed.
So I just want to put a bug in your ear real quick. They're trying to move the Social Security age up to 70.
Yeah, I think I got some Social Security stuff on the back.
Yeah, and I want, just think about that for a minute. This is
we need to start moving, man. We still got a lot of deck to go.
This is 8:02. This is Sean Penn, someone who chooses not to take the vax. They should stay home, not go to work, and not have a job. And I had to bring this because our friend Jax Page, friend of the show, obviously she's here tonight, a hearty fuck off to a washed up actor and piece of shit Sean Penn, who thinks you don't deserve to live your life or be able to work to support your family unless you keep taking the jab. And that's hashtag no mandates and hashtag medical freedom. 100% Jax, and Jax is in that field. She sees it head on. So there you go. Quickly, Victoria Nuland still spewing. Russia aimed to annex Donbass. There's some irony there in that one. Actually, Victoria Nuland was in charge of the coup, or part of the coup in Maidan coup back in the day. I brought this one from Glenn Greenwald. I think it's pretty important, so let's give it a listen and tell me what you think afterwards.
Okay.
Has on it a proud statement that says that the Ministry of Economy of Ukraine signed a memorandum with the world's largest investment company, and they're boasting of that. And this is what it reads, quote, the Ministry of Economy of Ukraine and BlackRock, the world's largest investment company, have signed a memorandum of understanding agreeing on a framework for consultative assistance in developing a special platform to attract private capital for the recovery and support of Ukraine's economy. The platform will focus on mobilizing investment in key sectors of Ukraine's economy while taking into account the reconstruction needs resulting from the full-scale Russian invasion. In particular, the agreement signed on November 10, 2022 in Washington, D.C. provides that BlackRock's Financial Markets Advisory will consult the Ministry of Economy on creation of a roadmap for the implementation of an investment platform, which will primarily attract private capital. This includes the structure of the platform, its mandate, and its governance. So again, you have private funds coming from the United States and the EU, as people are suffering in winter in the EU, unable to purchase energy, suffering in all kinds of ways for this war. And now you have the vultures, BlackRock, that buys up all kinds of real estate property, driving up the prices so high that ordinary Americans can no longer afford to even rent. Right in the middle of all of this, seeking to profiteer in completely amoral ways. That is what, at least in large part, this war is about.
Is that what the war's about?
Yeah.
Nailed it? Yeah. Here's something that broke my sanity barrier this week. Biden officials to brief John Bolton on Chinese spy balloons during Trump years. Biden officials to brief John Bolton on Chinese spy balloons during Trump years. Does that make any sense to you?
That makes no goddamn sense. Bolton was Trump's fucking advisor.
Yeah.
What?
But the thing that chaps my ass the most right here is, why are they briefing Bolton on anything?
What authority does he have at this point over anything?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm wondering if this was just a botched article.
He is one of the creators. He is one of the,
he wanted to
little
take out
debauchery.
Yeah, he wanted to take out so many floors of the UN. So this guy, he's a psychopath. He shouldn't
and
be.
the Democrats love him.
He should be briefed on a one-way ticket to hell, I think.
He takes this guy with him.
Yeah, this guy's horrible too, and you can take Blumenthal. Is that Richard Blumenthal?
Is that Blumenthal? I don't know.
When every one of the Democrats agree with Lindsey Graham, you know, without a doubt, that this is a war for profit and that has zero to do with democracy and everything to do with dollar signs. Congress is just a pack of corporate lapdogs being hand-fed by the oligarchy. Prove me wrong. There's no way you can prove that. I advocate that all the time. We're being handled.
I'm glad that Dems like Patti Smith are starting to get it.
Yeah, finally.
Hello.
Here's one. China sanctions Lockheed Martin and Raytheon over weapon sales to Taiwan. Welcome to the party, assholes. I mean, yeah, China, start sanctioning more.
This right here is where it happens. The China-Taiwan connection. That's where it breaks. And that's what scares me because it's just so, you know.
Yeah, and you can take this as real or false because it's coming from Western media. There's a reason why they let this out. They want to piss off the American public. Oh, China's shitting on me. Yeah, China bad. China bad.
Yeah, China's fucking with my 401k because half of y'all's 401ks out there are parked in fucking Raytheon and BlackRock and you don't even know it because they're under other names, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. And, you know, again, critical thinking skills, try and stay up on topics. If you can't, find somebody who can help you with it.
Our audience is amazing, though. And that, you know, when I'm writing this show, when I throw something on here, like with Victoria Nuland, I don't have to explain to you guys who Victoria fucking Nuland is because you are so well informed. You already know. So it's so much. There's a huge difference between conversing between our viewers and everyday people. And I notice it when I'm out on the streets because I'll bring up something. I just expect them to understand and know what the Nord Stream 2 is or, you know, like.
They think it's a super slide in California.
Yeah, I know. It's just, people just don't have a clue. And it's so apparent when you're out talking to people.
It's
those
sad.
who are truly informed and those who read mainstream headlines and listen to mainstream media.
Just imagine if it was your daughter you were talking to, how you'd feel.
Oh, I have so many in my family too, and we all do. And it fucking sucks, man. You want to shake them and they just refuse. They have that
They want to
Cognitive
shake you
dissonance.
because you're not going along with the narrative. Kim Iverson had this little thing, little clip this week that I thought was pretty right on about the World Economic Forum. And this guy was the inventor or the proponent of quantitative easing. So he's kind of changing his tune a little bit. Hold on, you're gonna like this.
A little late, huh?
Whereas anything digital and central is going to be about control. And to support cash is a key way to preserve
Cash
our
Friday,
freedom.
Amber.
And we should really do everything we can to prevent the introduction of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, because that is the epitome of a centralized, controlled, even totalitarian system, because of course they're going to be programmable and they will be programmed. And it's just nothing like we've ever had in the past. And any totalitarian dictatorship could only dream of such enormous control tools. We have to prevent that. And so decentralize, use cash, support your local bank, help setting up local banks.
You're such an interesting figure. I think you're like blowing people's minds right now because on one hand, you know, a lot of people would blame you, right, as the person who invented quantitative easing for the crises that we're in. And it was just sort of delaying. And now many people look at it as one of the biggest economic, just like a colossal policy mistake. And at the same time, a lot of those people that feel that way are also the very people who don't trust this central digital currency, don't trust the World Economic Forum, and you seem to be also in that group. So, that I think that blows a lot of people's minds. They don't really know what to make of you and your policies. Which way, are you the good guy or are you the bad guy? I think a lot of people can't quite figure.
I can figure
She's
out.
right. I was sitting right there going, well, if he created quantitative easing, what was he for when he did it?
Well,
But
I think a lot of this stuff, when these guys do this shit, they want to recant it because they know the history's not going to look on them well.
Look good on them.
No.
And maybe that's why he's saying that. Of course, stay away from these goddamn central digital currencies,
Did you hear about this week? U.S. to support Ukrainian pensions. And Johnny Graz, friend of the show, Johnny Graz, seriously, people, if we're not burning shit down over this, we deserve what we get. Jimmy Dore chimed in today. He says, Biden is blocking sick leave and crushing railroad unions at home, but he's really committed to making Ukrainians' lives better because he's a humanitarian. Ukrainians will have all the help they need, including health care, clean water, pensions, etc. We should change our name to Ukraine. Jimmy, I don't think we need to go that far, do we, Jimmy? So let's just listen. You guys, see if I'm correct in my assertion here, or we, everybody here, we'll listen to this and see how this sounds to you.
And to deliver much needed humanitarian assistance as well as food, water, medicine, shelter, and other aid to Ukrainians displaced by Russia's war, and provide aid for those seeking refuge in other countries from Ukraine. It's also going to help schools and hospitals open. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something.
Like the ones we're bombing in the Donbass?
It's also going to provide critical resources to address food shortages around the globe.
I could blow holes in that all day long, but we can't even get hospitals in rural areas in this country. We've got
they're closing hospitals.
We have
from coast
food
to coast.
deserts in this country. We have infrastructure, as you saw earlier, falling apart. Trains are falling off the track. Dams are breaking. Bridges are falling. And these bastards are trumpeting their fight for democracy over in Ukraine, and we're going to make sure we take care of the Ukrainian people and everything else. They're killing the Ukrainian people by keeping this war amped up and too hot to where we can't even have diplomacy to stop it. Did he say anything that you disagree with that I'm calling into question here?
Did you say anything? No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, this is fucking bullshit. We should be freaking out over this. But yet again, we've kind of accustomed to it, and it's okay.
Yeah, so call your congressional rep. Tell them how you feel. Don't just blow it off because they're not going to do anything about it. Call them anyway. Load up their phone lines. And when you see them in the streets, when you see them at the town hall, if they've got the guts
Shame
to
'em.
go to one, nail them. There was a guy named Jose that went to Richie Torres the other day, just burned the Richie Torres down. I'm covering that in Sabrina Salvati's section coming up. But right now, what do we have here?
United Spot.
Okay, United
If anyone tries to get rid of Social Security or Medicare, I will veto it. If that's the Republican dream, I'm their nightmare.
For example, I want to go on record. I'm up for re-election this year, and I'm going to remind everybody what I did at home, which is going to cost me politically. When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
If that's the Republican dream, I'm their nightmare.
We told ourselves to listen to this guy. What if we were lying? Why would we lie to ourselves?
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
Think about it. Think about what you'd think about.
I'm their nightmare.
I'm your worst nightmare.
Yeah, we could have used John Wick in that instead of Keanu Reeves or Bill and Ted. I gotta tell you. So we've got this one here. You brought these memes right here.
If my calculations are correct, the Biden regime will destroy America before the 2024 election. The cop after they tow a struggling single mother's car because they can't afford insurance, registration, or groceries. I'm a hero.
And didn't you get a ticket from a cop on Christmas Eve? Was that you?
Christmas Eve. Yeah, he gave me no insurance. I had 3 kids in the car, and I went off, man. I was just like, you motherfucker.
Well, that's all right. That's part of the militarization of the cops. They do that. So
I still run into him from time to time. That was probably 20 years ago, and now he's, he did steroids for 20 years, so he's all shriveled up, and I just laugh at him when I see him.
Does that look like a boot? What, you brought this? What is this?
Well, yeah, this is comment is 67P-CG compared to the city of Los Angeles, California. Now, this bad boy is headed in. He's not predicted to strike us, but hey, you never know.
Oh, I think some people are wishing for it these days. This is crazy.
It puts it in perspective, how the big ass shit that's flying around above us.
You brought this, and I looked at it, and I go, you got to be kidding me, but...
Right, we've made jokes about this for years now. Years that the birds are drones, right? Well, guess what? The CIA is doing it.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise.
Art imitates reality. Look at that.
Would you know the difference? Fuck no.
No, I wouldn't.
I always talk to birds too. No, I always talk to birds because I'm a bird person. I love birds. I would probably be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with that bird?
I saw something this week.
It's like there's something wrong. We better catch him and make sure he doesn't have a broken wing.
I didn't bring the video. It's kind of pointless. But is this person serious? The wire works from this vid are blatantly obvious. What this was one of these evangelists coming on wires floating into his flock there. And I'm sure he got a $10 bump from every one of them for flying in. So,
yeah, we call that a cult where I come from.
Honest to God, Shanda, and honest to God, sorry about the play on words. A lot of old people at those things don't see very well. And
no, they don't.
They'll buy into that. But this is just a list that Uncle Warren dropped the other day from Idaho Joe. Kenneth Copeland, net worth $300 million. Joe Olstein, $100 million. I think that's light for Olstein. Benny Hinn, 60.
Benny Hinn's my favorite. I heal you.
I heal
my
you.
grandma loved Benny.
Yeah, Stephen Furtick, $55 million. Andy Staley. You guys get the picture on down the wires.
They didn't put Billy Graham on there, but they put the Graham boys on there.
Yeah, well, it's all about that. I just, I'm
they're cults, man. I listened to a 20-minute interview today with a woman who escaped and then prosecuted that big Love of God. Was it called Love of God cult?
I have no idea. There's so
Children
many
of God. It's the Children of God from the 60s. They were a bad cult, man.
I can't even keep up with them anymore. There's so many cults.
There's
Big
so
money
many
in
now.
cults, I got to tell you.
Yeah, there is.
This is Sister Sabrina Salvetti. She's up to 30.2, guys. Come on.
Nice.
50K by July 4th. Come on, let's get her up there. Voice of sanity, reason, and thoughtfulness. Always a pleasure listening to Sabrina Salvetti because she is a very kind and thoughtful person in reporting events, news, and everything else. Here we go.
$1 billion for a war instead of putting that money back home, especially in a district where it's one of the poorest districts in New York City. District 15. I'm one of your constituents. I live on Valentine Avenue, and it's one of the poorest districts in New York City. So I want to know.
Yeah, and Richie's not poor anymore. That's part of the problem. Richie is not poor anymore. Yes, he grew up, poor with a single mother, but Richie is not living that life anymore, even though he's your representative.
Why do you feel like it's okay to do that, but not put money back into?
You're gonna let me answer the question? It's a fair question, and not everyone agrees. But my view is the United States. We are the wealthiest country in the world. We are the most powerful country in the world. We are the most powerful country in the world. And with power comes responsibility.
Peter.
And if there is a
You're quoting Peter Parker. Peter Parker. With great power comes great responsibility.
Good job, Sabrina.
war criminal who's invading sovereign nation states and murdering civilians, we have an obligation to respond, just like when Hitler invaded sovereign nation states and systematically murdered people and committed ethnic cleansing and genocide. The world had an obligation to respond. And that's just my belief. There are some people who feel like we should mind our business, we should turn a blind eye. I don't believe that.
That still didn't answer his question about why there isn't money being put into the communities here in the United States.
Yeah,
that didn't answer his question about why not use money towards Medicare for all and the homeless issue in this country. That still did not answer his question.
How about
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. That is fair. 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 So that is fair. So if the question is, should there be more oversight over how those dollars are spent? That is a completely fair point.
Well, why did you vote against it? Why didn't you vote? Listen. You had to say no.
Because I will answer. If we were to deny Ukraine aid, Ukrainian people would be slaughtered.
What?
So what he is essentially telling you is that it is more important to help them than to help our own people.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it to you, but that's essentially what he's saying without saying those words. It is more important to help them than to help our own people. In one of the poorest districts in New York. This is who they voted in. Richie talked a good game when he was running. He's not one of them anymore. He's no longer Richie from the Bronx.
Yeah.
You gotta let them no speaking out loud. You gotta reach this and that.
Con man.
This is what always happens. We, the people, get behind them. We fucking lift their voices. We get them elected, and then they
go to class in D.C. or wherever.
They do go to class. They have classes. That's no joke.
Sounds just like Kilmer and Larson in Washington State. Same kind of thing, you know. I shut Larson down at several of these things. It's pointless.
I've shut Kilmer down
it's pointless
times.
Because they have their staffers there and they'll clap for him and they'll boo you.
They do their tweet, whatever their talking point is. They regurgitate it back at you, whatever they've been told. This is your bullet point.
Yeah,
and the dumb people go,
honestly, Richie Torres, really, I mean, these were his constituents that were in there, and I watched the majority of that town hall, and they were pretty respectful, other than being very strong in their verbiage as far as pushing
And you
back.
have to, because they'll just run right over you with their stupid platitudes.
Well, here's how he treats his constituents that brought honest, fair questions, which he didn't answer hardly any of them. My town hall was hijacked by pro-Putin propagandists who blame the U.S. rather than Vladimir Putin for a war of aggression against Ukraine. It's tragic to see useful idiots whitewashing Putin's war crimes. I stand with the Ukrainian people in their fight for freedom. Now, that's the biggest line of bullshit that I've seen this week. But it's common amongst all of them. They've got that.
That's their standard. Spit it back at you.
Spit it back
Putin
at
apologist.
you. Absolutely.
Putin apologist.
Once again, I want to thank Sabrina for being calm and direct and bringing a great deal of information. We're here Saturday night to highlight some of our sisters and brothers who are out there doing the thing at the events, at the protests, and this woman is not one of those people. And her name is Sarah Silverman. Do I even need to tell you guys what her name is?
You're trying to make me sick tonight.
Okay, we're having a little history here, so give this a listen.
I will vote for Hillary with gusto.
Yeah, we know. We were there. I was standing outside when she said that.
As I continue to be inspired and moved to action by the ideals set forth by Bernie, who will never stop fighting for us.
Oh, really?
I am proud to be a part of Bernie's movement, and a vital part of that movement is making absolutely sure that Hillary Clinton is our next president of the United States. Booyah, Baba Booey.
Ugh, so gross.
You were there.
I know. And oh my God, I was vomiting. I was vomiting as she was saying this. Are you kidding? We were ready to tear it to the ground. We were so mad. Pervert. Careful, Sarah. He'll haunt your boobies.
The Bernie, can I just say, to the Bernie or bust people,
you need to go.
You're being ridiculous.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
And she's gonna tell me I'm being ridiculous. She was an accomplice to Bernie in shepherding unknowing people into the Democratic
we
nest.
hated her. We hated
Nest.
her. I'm sure she needed an armed guard to get her out of that freaking town that day.
Oh my God, that was horrible. So just a
like,
little butt hurt there from Oz. I had to share that.
Thanks for bringing back that butt hurt,
There
because
you
that
go.
one didn't hurt so much, years ago.
You brought this.
Anyways, I was at like 40,000 feet in my own private balloon, not bothering anyone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's fucking true.
That's terrible.
And did you know when you are diagnosed with cancer, you are suddenly worth a minimum of $300,000 to the cancer industry, aka Big Pharma?
That's a minimum. It's more
A
like
minimum.
$500,000 to $1 million.
Yeah.
Just having my
But Biden's curing cancer.
yeah, just to get my gallbladder removed, if I have to have it removed, $15,000 for a laparoscopic surgery that's going to take 25 minutes. So there you go.
I think it's about it's about that long.
Okay, which pill am I going to take, Shanda?
You can only pick two, and we do this, and this one's so crazy. You can communicate with oysters, free gravel for life, can teleport up to 7 inches away, grow a second nose, can control any toaster with your mind. Now, hey, that might be it. Look 10 years younger or 10 hours younger, can instantly see anything in an empty container, and speak the extinct language of kitten, and can run as fast as Albert Einstein. You can only pick two. I know my two. Do you know your two?
Give me a second. What are your two?
Okay, so for one, I got to take the free gravel for life because, hey, I'm a hick girl. I live in the woods.
You capitalist. Oh, my
I'll take
God.
the free gravel for life, but it's free, so it's somebody else's problem. And let's see, can control any toaster with my mind because I hate standing there. Oh, it popped up. Nope, I got to put it back down. Now, if I could just control it with my mind, then my toast will be perfect.
You know what? I knew you were going to pick that because I would pick can control any toaster with my mind. However, I would also can communicate with oysters. I think that would be the thing because our friend
They just say, "Stop fucking eating us."
Yeah,
You sick fuckers.
our friend, what's our Gross Point Blank Cusack? John Cusack.
yeah.
John Cusack called me a mental oyster. So I want to.
That's right.
I
right.
want to be able to communicate with oysters to prove John Cusack,
You
the
are a
Hollywood,
mental oyster.
the Hollywood overly rated IQ guy. Prove him right. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So that's good picks.
You guys are funny. I'm loving everybody's putting up their combinations. Grow a second nose? What do you need a second nose? Ronnie Graham, thank you so much over on the Rockfin. Ordinary folks are brainwashed, not just ignorant. And it's like they are from another planet. I know, right?
Yeah.
I think there's another one over here. Let me dig. Let me find it. Aram, to my favorite, towards your health. Oh,
Thanks,
you.
Aram. Thank you, Aram. Hope that coffee's going over well for your friends and family, Aram.
Yummy coffee.
We're working on the t-shirts. We're working on the t-shirts. We're gonna have t-shirts because we're getting a new source for t-shirts, so we can have some that are on back order printed and sent out. And we're gonna start having t-shirts because we are gonna have Beauty and the Boomer gob again. But it's going to be good quality, we hope. Shanda, you McCormick, you brought this. They got a new spice.
Microplastic. It tastes great on everything. And Mother Nature just be throwing out temperatures like Powerball numbers 66, 40, 29, 58, 24, 13. And yeah, that's what it's been like this winter.
Yeah, I thought McCormick already had microplastics in their spice rack. So I can't find.
No, they do. They absolutely do. That's why it's there. So
yeah, I can't ever find any sauce to put on my steak. I used to buy these packets of peppercorn sauce that was fantastic for my steak when I had steak, when I could afford steak, but come to find out the packaging poisoned the sauce mix, so it would kill me. So I guess I'm better off not having it. Never mind.
Oh God, yeah, McCormick's all in that fucking metal lined shit.
Yeah, I heard there's metal filings in dark chocolate these days. Not that I have.
I found metal filings in a ham. Not too long
yum.
ago.
Were they bullet fragments or what?
No, they were just a little round, like they'd fallen off of the saw.
Oh, good. Processed ham.
Processed ham.
So your friend Don Lemon, what's going on?
Don Lemon is in trouble again, and I think he might have did himself in this time. He was talking shit about Nikki Haley running for president, and he said she's too old, basically, by saying she's not in her prime. So that didn't go over too well, and he hasn't been seen on CNN since, as far as I know.
Yeah, I must confess, I've seen a lot of people calling for him to be fired over this this little.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say.
Well, that's your
20s,
first
30s,
mistake.
And 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
Or second mistake.
So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
We need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for
So
like
if you're
childbearing, or are you
Don't
talking
shoot
about
the messenger.
prime
I'm
for
just
being
saying what the
president?
facts are.
All right.
He is a spoiled elitist douchebag. Remember the story I did on him a couple years ago where he's actually in a lawsuit over it. There's a court date where he grabbed some dude by his groin in a restaurant, like tried to stick his hand down his pants. I mean, this guy needs to go. They canceled worse for less. So.
Yeah, he's definitely has some issues that he needs to deal with and get professional help. So now can I start talking about what I think a woman is in her prime?
Oh, you want to talk about when a woman's in her prime? Okay, let's do it.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest argument you could come up with.
That's it right there.
Yeah, like bring it.
That's it. We've got. Speaking of priming something,
Cacklin Harris.
This was not good at all. Let me
No,
see.
this was so bad.
It was so bad. Let's see if I can get it started here. Kickstart. Okay.
But when you present the suggestion that anyone is saying that it is time for a new generation, and they're running against the person who is president, and when presented as though it's an attack, I would like to let us all be clear that the attack is misplaced. If the point of it is that we need leadership that is strong, because we have a strong leader in Joe Biden.
What the hell are you talking about?
What the
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought this was the other clip. the
No,
one that you and I have been talking about all
she
week.
just went after Russia with a passion.
No, she did. You're right.
It
No,
was
she did.
horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Talking about atrocities, she was projecting what the United States has done in every goddamn war that
Exactly. 100% projecting,
they've
man.
done. So it was pretty horrendous. I know you guys have seen it. We've got a very
I look
smart
sunburned. My color saturation must be all night. I've been like, why do I look so red?
Now, you said something that I thought was quite thoughtful about this whole thing to me this morning about about being sympathetic to John Fetterman. So this is not a diss on John Fetterman at all.
No, we'll talk about it after you play it.
Okay, here we go. That's not John Fetterman, is it? Yes, it is.
Is it playing?
It's a pleasure to be here with you all
Oh, there it goes.
today.
Here we go.
And we should all support replacing the lead pipes and ensuring that everyone has clean, safe, clean drinking water, excuse me. And ensuring that everyone has clean, safe, clean drinking work. And it's an honor to stand with the president last year in Pittsburgh when he's at the collapsed Fern Hollow Bridge, and they get more stuff done. And that's really what Democrats like us, like the president, get doing for the last 2 years.
What?
And that's what we're going to be able to keep doing together here in DC. And I just want to thank you so very much, and I'm proud to introduce Senator Casey. Thanks, John.
That boy is good. Good and terrible.
Clean, safe, clean drinking work.
I honestly, there was some poignant, funny things pointed at. That wasn't funny. The guy's got something wrong with his head.
No, well, we knew that. We saw that during the election, right? I mean, we kept watching these speeches where his cognitive function was just declined. And so where I'm at now is, okay, you guys felt bad for him. You elected him. Do you really want him to represent you? He checked into Walter Reed. He's in there for depression now. I say, let him have his insurance. Let him go be on LNI or something. He obviously is sick and he needs some help. But how can he represent the people?
He can't.
So they need to figure it out. They either need to recall him, retire him. I feel bad for him, whatever. But come on, guys, you need real representation. And I just don't know what he can get done for
Who
the
did
district.
they have?
when he's
Wasn't
like this.
Dr. Oz running against him?
Oz, yeah, I think
It's
so. Oz
shittier and
lost to a
shittier.
corpse.
It's
Yeah,
just
Dr.
really.
Oz lost to a
But
corpse.
I believe that Fetterman has some major health issues, and I'm not a doctor, but
He
just
doesn't need to be in the position he's in. Obviously, you need to go take care of your shit, man.
yeah, go take care of your shit, man. The left, it's strange that my interests align with the media, big tech, big government, and the wealthy elite and big pharma. No, that's a coincidence. I am anti-establishment. You brought that. You brought this picture of me on a good day here. What is that?
I know. That's our future, man.
Is that a smart room or something? Where
is a pod. And, I looked at written pods for going to DC. They've got pods now, man. They're cheap. And you get yourself a pod and you pull the thing down in a little shade. And, hey, you got a charging station. You're in there by yourself.
Well, I found something today, and we can talk while this is going on. But this is going to be on the menu here coming up. Social conditioning again.
Oh, I can't watch this.
And this is, of course.
You're going to ruin my Whoppers for me, man.
But they're going to be feeding.
Oh.
They're going to be feeding bugs at McDonald's in the year 25. So they're letting the kids eat all these bugs, right?
Yeah, because creatine is so good for human beings. The exoskeleton part of the fucking bug, your body can't process it. Don't eat bugs.
Yeah, I don't know what's going. Snorky, can you speak to this if you're around? I'm not buying this. I believe that you can get serious allergic reactions and infections from this kind of stuff.
Crichton.
Creatine?
No, it's called Crichton.
Crichton?
It's like CHITON.
Yeah, well, Bill Gates, was it Bill Gates talking about eating bugs? Who was that?
Yeah, they want us all to eat
We want to cultivate bugs. Well, you have to be pretty hungry to eat them. But anyway, I'm sure that's going to be in the McCricket box at McDonald's. Haha. McCricket, did you get it?
The McCricket.
Sorry, I had to. I couldn't pass it up. Couldn't pass it
that
up.
just turned my stomach.
That was awful. Now, you brought this?
Twitter CEO Elon, in a tweet on Friday morning, expressed a need for Truth GPT. So what he's saying is Microsoft has the fucking Microsoft and Google's chatbots. Pretty much have got the market cornered, and more Microsoft than Google's. But he wants a Truth GPT chat. So meaning what? That it'll only decipher the truth compared to what the other ones are deciphering?
Well, I don't know how they do that because I don't believe anything's truthful these days. You brought this. I love this. It's from one of my favorite realities.
Oh, yeah. Well, AI writes a haunting poem about how artificial intelligence will take over Earth. Oh, that's so sweet of them. Right in time for Valentine's Day.
And
too.
the way it's going, Shanda, we're going to be starting to bringing AI stuff more and more. As you all seen,
we are already.
We're bringing the AI thumbnails. We're bringing. I call them live thumbnails. I call them magic thumbnails, where they go up and they go on the trailer site or Rumble or on Twitter, and Shanda and I's avatars are actually moving, making facial expressions, which is kind of creepy, but I like it, and I'm going to keep doing it because it's fun. Nobody else is doing it yet. So let me know if you like it. It's kind of cool. What is this with the lobsters?
The lobsters, I'm telling you, they're going to throw us into a boiling pot and then eat us. Dude, I swear, you are so paranoid with your crazy conspiracy theory stuff, man.
Oh, shit. How many conspiracy theories have been proven true over time? That's what I want to know. I want to know. And then we've got this one. What's this?
This is weird. This made me sad, but it made me happy. So basically, because of they've stopped killing whales, the humpbacks, they're not singing anymore. So, the lonely tune of the humpback whale, which can be heard for fucking miles and miles and miles, they're not hearing it as much in the sea. And they say what's going on is that is their lonely cry. And they're not lonely anymore because they're in bigger pods now off the barrier reef. And so they're not crying as much as what they're trying to say. It's why we're not hearing them as much because there's more of them.
I don't believe it. I think it's sonar testing's fucking them up and killing them. We've seen whales.
Is why they're not crying anymore.
Yeah, they're deaf. They probably can't cry anymore. We're killing them.
So we went from pre-levels in 1960s, there was around 200 humpback whales left. And now there's 27,000 whales in 2016. And this is the Eastern Australia Humpback Whale Society.
I hope they're right. I hope they're right.
I hope they're right too, but still
What do you got with Whoopi here? What's going on here?
Oh, this one. She's such a hypocrite. I'll just play it. She's a hypocrite.
These discussions are, they're going to keep happening. Get rid of those. But the bottom line is, if you're going to ban books, if you're going to insist on kids not being given the information about their history, get with it and figure out how to ban these. Because you know what? I'm also a gun owner. I'm a responsible gun owner. But what I don't understand is when there are smart, responsible ideas, why do you think it's okay for you to just have as many guns as you want just because you want them? That's not how America works. See,
That's not how America works. It works exactly that way.
See, I think I should be able to take care of my own body, but you insist on helping me. So I want to help you. Okay?
Didn't she help me with the vaccine?
So I want to help you. Hey, lady, shut up! Why do you think it's okay for you to just have as many guns
Honestly,
as you want?
she took her role as Guinan in Star Trek The Next Generation a little too seriously.
She did. You're absolutely right. That's when her head got exploded. Well, that and Ted Danson. Her hanging out with
Yeah,
Ted Danson for 10 years.
too big on the ego there. Sorry, Whoopi.
There was so much hypocrisy in that clip, all the way around. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'm still hanging on the President Biden, Jill Biden being Surgeon General. That's still, really? Yeah.
Hey,
you
most historic president in 2 years.
You brought this.
This was funny. Let me get down there. Let's see. If you think it's bad that he's smoking, realize that he probably drove that Datsun to the store to buy those cigarettes.
Yeah,
I had to reface you into that.
I would never own a Datsun back in the day. Even a 280ZX. I like the cheers to all the people there who can change their minds when presented with information that contradicts their beliefs. That's good. I absolutely agree with that. You brought a movie.
I did bring us just a cute little movie.
This
it
is
doesn't
short.
mean anything. It's just short.
Here's a short, and then we're going to get heading on out of here. We got a hell of an outro tonight. And
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We still got Hollywood.
Don't mess with that AI paper. It'll get you in the long run.
AI paper.
The
Okay,
AI
yeah, right.
paper. You got a Stoner Corner. We have a contribution from Pat, the Batman fan.
Pat.
Yeah,
Pat the Batman fan. He sent us tonight's Stoner Corner, and this is just a reminder of why people hate marijuana. This is a programming that we took many years ago.
Yeah, here we go. The heathen devil weed.
It appears from reviewing what happened in the mid-1930s that our attitudes were deliberately developed by the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, and in particular its former head, Mr. Harry Anslinger. The sociological studies of this phenomena and the reading of the congressional record, or rather the congressional hearings leading up to the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, indicate that statements about marijuana leading to assassination, to the destruction of American youth, to the serious crime, violence, sexual misbehavior, etc., that such statements were circulated by Mr. Anslinger, sent to various newspapers in the country, who then reprinted stories about them, and sometimes these were supplemented with equally anecdotal reports about somebody who committed a crime in a particular part of the country, usually the South, and the crime was attributed to marijuana, even though the person in most instances had just come out of a bar or had been drinking alcohol all day. This was then presented to the Congressional Committee as evidence of the dangers of marijuana. No medical or scientific testimony was heard by that committee or by the various state legislative bodies who either prior to that or subsequent to that passed comparable laws.
And
so all the laws that we suffered for 60 years, there was no medical fucking testimony at all. And I love our chat, Oz. They are so smart. Gamer, yes, Randall Hurst, and get Randall Hurst in there because really it was his big push.
And you brought when Snoop Dogg turns 60, he will be 420 in dog years.
Well, of course.
You know, while I was watching that, while I was listening to that video, I was watching the little marijuana guy smoke that joint down there. It was so funny.
I know. I need to fix him to where
I like
he's
him.
not.
I like him.
I know.
Put
I
an
need to
AI
pull him
in
forward,
there.
though.
Maybe he'll commit harikiri or something. while
Oh,
he's
there we
smoking.
go. We'll put an AI in
Yeah,
there.
and then we've got our traditional Fuck Hollywood with all the stars, which is Shanda Oz, Shanda Oz, Shanda and Oz, Shanda and Oz, and Shanda and Oz.
That's right. Hollywood can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourselves. Really, and that's about the extent of it. You brought something here. What the hell is this?
Well, this is a follow-up to a story we did last week. Of course, last week's Grammys were all of the rave with everybody screaming about the Satanistic Sam Harris song. And, well, I had to bring a follow-up because the FCC took 18 complaints.
18 whole complaints, huh?
18 whole complaints.
Yeah. Okay, I know the Grammy viewership is down, but that's pretty bad. Okay, here we go.
Sam Smith, Kim Petras' unholy Grammy performance sparks FCC complaints.
They're no cut.
Sam Smith and Kim Petras' controversial Grammys performance was slapped with a myriad of FCC complaints. According to a report, the duo sent temperatures rising while performing their chart-topping song Unholy during the 65th Grammy Awards. The risque renditions are both singers and their backup dancers clad in blood-red devil-esque costumes. After Smith and Petras raised eyebrows with their creative choices, TMZ reported outraged viewers filed complaints against CBS and the Federal Communications Commission (FCC). The outlet obtained 18 complaints filed with the FCC, with most of them slamming the performance for its glorification of Satan.
Okay.
And the complaints were funny. I should have brought it, but it was longer. I mean, the complaints were just stupidly ludicrous.
The hypocrisy is shoulder deep right there. So.
And they're saying that it's going to cause hate towards Christians.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course.
There you go.
I tried to make my lips do that when I saw Billy Idol do that. I still can't do that. I try, but it won't, my face won't do that. So you can read that, I think.
Today on Great Moments in Sneering History, we look at the remarkable 44-degree angle achieved by Billy Idol in the lip-curling video from his 1983 hit song, Fleshful Fantasy. Yeah.
Do you think the cocaine just made his left side of his mouth numb and it just fell down?
Maybe he had a toothache. I don't know.
Probably what that was, guys.
Pretty
Sorry,
funny,
it
though.
wasn't that incredible. And we've got Julian Assange here. We want to support Assange tomorrow as well,
Yes,
right?
I'm wearing my Assange hoodie, Lizzie. Lizzie, I'm going to wear my hoodie tomorrow.
Thank
so look for me. I'll
you.
be clad in white.
Thank you, everybody. And there isn't a video with this, but Shanda brought this. What's his...
No, it's a great video, though. You should definitely go watch
Yeah,
it.
Don
but
DeBar.
This is, the Don DeBar interview. But this is what Fee said, and I love what she said. She said, what does it mean to be anti-war? It's opposing your empire, posing as a government, and taking some goddamn accountability for what's done to the world and you. Whatever your thoughts about Russia are irrelevant. You can do something about your country. They're bigger than all of us.
And that's the bigger trigger than all of us. Yeah, bigger. That's bigger than all of us. Fee knocked it out of the park again. We are at the end of the show, guys. Did we miss anybody? I want to call everybody. Yeah, Fiorella. Yeah, Jax, definitely. Free Assange, Suzanne. Thank you. Suzanne stuck out the show. She was really sleepy earlier, and she wasn't sure she's going to make it. I I am so glad you did, though. We haven't seen you for a while. I know you've been super busy. Natalie Williams, Jax again, Jilly,
Good to see you.
Gamer. Did we call everybody out? I want to shout everybody. Kayak Dog, Natalie Williams. And all people were, I can't read all that. I've got 50 things going on. I want to thank everybody over on Rumble for your open-mindedness, because we go after anybody when they're full of shit. So what are you looking at? Yona's in the house. Hey, Yona, what's going on? Smoke more weed.
Yona.
SFT.
Yona.
Good to see you, SFT. Natalie Williams.
I got Ghost Star and Sinead hanging out over on Trailer Park Pundit. Yeah,
Yay,
I'm glad there's some people
Ghost
actually
Star.
hanging out on Trailer Park Pundit.
Right on. Vic. Vic is in the
Hey, Fred.
house. There's some
Fred
community
Edwards.
media. I got to check it one of these days. So
Yeah, we should check in. We're still going up on Thurston Community Media, right?
Yep. We need to check
Okay,
in.
well then we're good. We're good to go, right?
Yeah.
Osama number 5's in the house. Did you see that? Ronnie Graham.
Ronnie Graham. What's up, Ronnie? Good to see you,
Ace
Ronnie.
Butcher. Welcome. Welcome. We love to see new faces. Always welcome.
Yep. Always welcome to our little,
Always welcome.
our little Beauty and the Boomer After Dark corner bar. That's what we are. We don't have the big numbers
Riley
like
Martin.
the other channels, but we hope we're bringing quality entertainment and maybe some things you didn't catch during the week. So
Well, welcome, Brad. We're glad you caught us live too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Brad.
We're here every Saturday night and have been for over 3 years now.
Yeah.
So this is our hangout. These are our peeps, and we're all like-minded. And
What did
well
Pasta call us back in the day? We're the best kept secret on social media.
something like that. We used to get called the Floating Head Show. I think Franco used to call
Franco
us the
called
Floating
us the
Head
floating
Show.
head show. Yeah, so that was it.
I
So
gotta say, I'm a little bummed, man. I didn't do any Trailer Park Pundits last week, guys, and therefore Tokyo Simp got no cannon fodder from me.
oh my gosh.
That
yeah.
guy, besides, he's moved on. He doesn't stalk me anymore. He's busy stalking Fee and Farron, and
Yeah, we're small potatoes. We're guppies in
I'm
the
so
Shark
small
Tank, so don't worry about us. We're easy.
Natalie, come up to me, say hi, say, hey, I'm Natalie. Because sometimes we'll run into you guys on the street and you don't tell us who you are. And a lot of times we don't know. We just know a lot of your user caller names, your username. So definitely, I hate that I don't just automatically recognize people. I don't know who they are.
Kate says she can't make it Tuesday. She's going to be at the she's going to be busy. I can
I
wave
was
from
wondering what
the
happened to Tokyo
from the
Simp. He's
pier.
around.
She's going to wave at you from the pier.
Wave at me from the pier. Yes, and Tokyo SMP is still around. Do not give his channel any clips.
What do we got going on? You got Trailer Park Pundit on Tuesday.
I will be back. I will be back with my whole entire schedule starting Tuesday morning. Of course, we will be live tomorrow on the ground from all of the different rallies and protests in Seattle. Amber and I will be. So definitely we'll be up on Roar. Look for us. We'll have links all over. But yeah, I'll be on regular schedule. I don't know who I'm bringing in yet or anything. I'm just excited to be back. And I've grown accustomed to doing my little trailer park show in the morning. So
Yeah,
I kind of need it.
I think Amber's due for her show this Friday, so I don't know if she'll
That
be
should be a
streaming it
horrific
or I'll
time.
be engineering it. She's got the ability to stream now, so she's trying to get that. Free Assange, jail Biden. I'm all for it,
Jail
Suzanne.
Biden,
Thank you
I
for that,
know.
Suzanne. We
God.
appreciate that so much. We're going to go out with a little foreplay here. And we're going to have another fun show next Saturday, hopefully. Beauty and the Boomers, 7 p.m. Pacific. And we'll see you then. Thank you, Shanda. Thanks to everybody.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Great
Over
show.
on Rumble, Twitch, Rockfin.
I got some great stories for Tuesday morning, so join me.
Yes,
Tuesday morning.
join her.
I've been
Join
saving
her
them up.
Tuesday morning. Anyway, we're out of here. Good night. Good luck. We're out. And here's a little Boston for you. That's not it.
Find it?
Yes, I did.
Good girl. You just laid there and saw Mama's whole show. Sweet girl.
Yeah.